Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about what is estate planning. It's probably one of the most simple questions, and still a lot of people are very confused about what estate planning is. So we're going to try to make this very easy. We're not going to get into legalese. We're going to try to make it very, very straightforward so you understand what estate planning is, and most importantly, what is not estate planning. So let's start with what it is. Estate planning is basically deciding in advance what's going to happen to you and your money and properties when you are either mentally incapacitated or you are dead. So what is estate? That's one of the first questions, the word estate. And estate is a very, very legal term. Estate, the definition of estate is anything, either money or property, that you own, especially at death. So that's what the definition of estate is. But in simple terms, estate is simply your stuff. Everything that you own. It is money, it is your property, it is your CD, it is your savings accounts, checking accounts, jewelry, piece of art, companies, stocks, bonds, life insurance, annuities, airplane miles, your collectibles, your guitars, your piano, everything that you own and has value is what it is, your estate. So when you think about estate planning, is planning for your estate. And when do you plan for your estate? Again, when you are either mentally incapacitated or when you are dead. So basically the question is, what's going to happen with my money, company, property, stocks, bonds, annuities when I'm either mentally incapacitated or I die? So planning, again, is decide on or arrange in advance. So you're doing this in advance of a future event. And that future event, again is mentally incapacitated or die. So, and why do we plan for this? Well, think about it for a minute. If everything is okay, on a normal day, you wake up, you have breakfast, you go for a walk, you exercise, you get ready, and you communicate with your family about everything, right? You communicate with your family about what you're gonna do today. You communicate with your family about how you're gonna spend your money. Are we gonna buy this or that? We need to pay bills, we need to see the doctor. We communicate everything, not only with your family, but also with your doctors, your attorneys, your advisors, your CPA. Everyone knows what you want, right? Because you are communicating what you want to someone. And you communicate that in writing, verbally, doesn't matter how you do it, but you communicate, you express your desires and your wishes. So when these two events, mentally incapacitated and death, strike, is when you lose control. So you are no longer in control. Why? Because when you are mentally incapacitated, you cannot say or express your wishes. You are incapacitated. Let's say you have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia. So you probably don't even recognize who your family members are. So how are they going to know what you want if you become mentally incapacitated because you never express your wishes or your desires in writing? So basically, estate planning is that. You are telling the world, if I become incapacitated, if I have dementia or Alzheimer's and I don't recognize anything, then this is what I want you to do for me. I want you to care for me at home. I want you to hire caregivers, nurses, etc. to care for me at home. I want you to spend the money on my care at home, and I want that care to be a 5-star care. And at the same time, I want that money to be used on sustaining or supporting my family members, my spouse, my kids, my grandkids, whatever, if I have the money to do so. And at the same time, you can tell in writing what's going to happen if you can no longer be cared at home. So let's say you have to go to a nursing home because your care demands 24/7. So what are you going to do then? So you instruct your family to admit you in a nursing home or assisted living facility so everyone can care for you. So that's what basically you do when you are incapacitated. So one of the things that we come across in our daily practice is if you don't have estate planning, then nobody knows what to do. So you go and you have to go to the courts and ask the court to appoint someone to become your guardian so they can make decision for you. So it's the same thing when you die. When you die and you have stuff, so how is everyone going to know what you want to happen with your stuff when you die if you don't put it in writing? Your spouse, your kids, nobody's going to know. The law says something, but whatever the law says, you may not like it. So you need to put, okay, I want this property to go to my spouse, and this is the money that I want my spouse to use for this purpose, etc., etc., etc. So that's basically what you do when you do estate planning. You just give instructions to other people that probably are okay. They are not mentally incapacitated, or they are not dead, of course, and that you trust to do what you want them to do with your stuff. So that's what it is. It's very simple. You plan for something to happen with you personally and your stuff. Okay, now that you know what estate planning is, now we're gonna tell you what estate planning is not. Very important. As important what the definition of estate planning is, also important to know what it's not. Estate planning is not about forms. Okay, we're gonna touch on this concept a lot during these videos. Estate planning is not about forms. So you should not fall for the idea because you have some forms in your library, you have done estate planning. Most people come and tell us that they have done their estate plan, and I go into more details and I ask them, I say, what have you done? So I did my will. So how do you do your will? I did my will using a form online. Oh, really? Did you ask the computer what the best solution is for your particular situation? Did you talk to the computer about the different scenarios that may come across when you go about your life? Do you consider all that? Well, the answer is no, because the computer is not going to ask you this question. So that's why forms are not a solution for estate planning. A form is just a form. The estate planning is not about just putting your name, your social security, the name of your spouse, and the name of your kids in a form. That is not going to accomplish anything, because a lot of things can go wrong with that, and we're going to go over that later. But again, don't fall for that idea. And also don't fall for the idea that just any professional can do your estate planning. We come across a lot of clients that went to see financial advisors or CPAs or realtors or any professionals that don't do what we do, and they fill up forms and they don't even know what they're doing. And same thing with attorneys. There are attorneys that don't practice in estate planning or elder law, and they fill up forms. And that is not a good idea. It's like you go to a criminal defense attorney and you ask them to do estate planning, and they're gonna say, sure, okay, well, they are lawyers, yes, but do they know what they're doing? Probably not, because again, the estate planning attorney or the elder law attorney is gonna ask you questions. It's going to try to identify blind spots. They're going to ask you questions that probably you never thought about it. So that's why estate planning is a process where you express your wishes, your desires, your concerns to the attorney, and the attorney will guide you through the process and tell you, okay, this is okay, well, be careful here, oh, don't do this, do that better. There are many ways that you can accomplish what you want. So take estate planning not as a form-based plan, but more as a counseling-based plan. Think about, what question you want the estate planning to address, and that is only going to be accomplished if you talk to an estate planning or elder law attorney. Thank you very much. In the next video, we're going to discuss more about why this is important. But right now, I just wanted to make sure that everyone is clear on what estate planning is and what it's not. Thank you very much.